Hello everybody, my name is Maher Muhammad, and just because I'm a month away from being a year away from being considered as an illegal adult by the US government, doesn't mean I'm not allowed to enjoy the simple things in life.
Heck yeah!
For those who don't know, Baby First is a television channel created in 2006 that's primarily aimed at these things. Baby First actually has a lot of original programming and is overall a pretty interesting topic I could go into, which is why I'm ignoring 70% of it. Instead, I'm choosing to look at a small section of the channel, my favorite side, Baby First at night. When instead of these super hyper colorful shows that are in your face and have a lot of dialogue despite most of these characters speaking gibberish, you instead get these oddly soothing and semi-experimental programs, and they're kind of beautiful in their own weird way, and I want to touch upon it. So I took some of the quote-unquote shows that air between 12 AM to 6 AM, took notes while watching, this is my life now, and yeah, I'm just gonna review them. I'm hoping anyone who's watching this right now will unlock a core memory of being 5 and watching any of these shows late at night. I really hope this wasn't just a me thing. And yeah, besides that, we have no more introductions to go through. Let's move on to the first show in this block.
Sandman.
Usually people save the best for last, but I want to talk about this as fast as I can before you guys stop watching. I know you people exist, I'd look at the analytics. Sandman is a show where someone off screen draws little pictures on a light board using nothing but sand. It's so simple that I can't help but love it. It's very satisfying to watch as the art is slowly being made, and even trying to guess what they're going to make before it actually is finished is also just really fun to watch. Seeing them use techniques made specifically for this, like using multiple such different fingers to achieve a thicker or thinner line art, or how they will grab sand off screen to fill in things like irises and eyes, really shows that there is more that goes into this than what you may think. And even if the art is simple, it's still art at the end of the day, and it's something very unique that I can't help but be mesmerized in. I think the music also goes a long way into making it sound soothing or satisfying, though unlike some of the other programs here that I'll mention today, where it seems like it is too satisfying to the point where you might fall asleep watching it, which in hindsight is probably the point. They want the babies to fall asleep. Nobody wants a baby staying up all night. But like, with this show, because of the drawing aspect, it really makes you pay attention, so you never really get bored or fall asleep while watching. It's just really mesmerizing to watch, and my god do I love it. It is very obvious to me that a lot of other people also love the show, considering how much it's actually aired if you tune into Baby First at night. Other shows on this list usually go on for less time, or there isn't really that much content in general that could justify going up to like 2 to 3 minutes at a time. Meanwhile, this show can go up to 3 segments at a time before they switch, and my god, do I love that. It is criminal that the show isn't talked about more online. It is the textbook definition of underrated. Pixies is a fairly simple show in which these Rubik's Cube-like blocks slowly come onto screen to make an outline of pixel art. There's something very satisfying about this program, just seeing the blocks rotate as they fall in place, and then the ending where the inside is quickly filled up is just a cherry on top. Though I won't lie and try and stretch this out for more than it really is. As you'll see, a lot of these shows are fairly simple in concept, so it's kinda hard to talk about them for a prolonged period of time. But man, well, I try and talk about it for as long as I can. Plus, even besides that, the show is still just very nice. Safari Scrapbook is Natural Geographic for kids. It films different animals for a bit in their natural habitat doing animal things, before they show their name on screen and then move on to the next animal. I find this show very unique due to the fact that it doesn't really have any narration or anyone talking. It's mostly just music or real noises, which I actually quite like. I think it's cool to have a program like this for babies to watch. Like, you know, get them hooked on animals really quick. The weirdest yet funniest thing I can think of, however, is how sometimes almost randomly, it will flash a 2D image of stock art of the animal plus a child. I don't understand. It's just an odd choice, and it kind of conflicts with the entire show, to be honest. Like, you're just watching an animal, all of a sudden, boom, jump scare. Though, you know what? Why not? It's 3 AM, I'm bored, the editor was probably bored, let's see something interesting. Scuba Dots is a show that is basically connect the dots, with the tiny fish being the dots. It waits a few seconds before it properly connects the dots so you can try and guess what it will be before they do it, but keep in mind, they will fill out the image, so please, put the marker down, you don't need to write on your TV. I like the underwater theme. The backgrounds look super nice, I can't tell if it's stocked out or if it's CGI, but man, is it really nice to look at, as well as a little filter they put on to simulate like the being underwater. Like, it's just really soothing. And I also like the 2D animation of the fish, and one thing I particularly like is how in between segments, the various fish scream across the screen. It's nice. This show is nice. I like it. I said put the marker down. Night Night Lullaby is a program in which children submit their own drawings for Baby First to then feature and semi-animate them. I find it very interesting to see how different babies and toddlers make different art, and I also find it interesting how they're able to animate them. Like, come on, how'd they do that? I'm curious. The thing that I find more interesting than any of this is how they dox the creators. Like, it's one thing to list the state that they live in, though at least that I can understand because it's still very broad. California is bigger than the entirety of the UK, so I think it's safe for people to know that I unfortunately live in that part of the US. But do they have to double down and put the town and city as well? Like, come on, is that necessary, Baby First? What the heck, man? I do wonder if any of these children will ever come across a show in their late teens/early adulthoods, and then they learn that the city of residence that they lived in for most of their life was shared to an entire cable market. Like, that's gotta be weird to learn, right? Color Symphony is such an odd experience that I can't help but love it. It has these watercolors go on screen, and as it goes on, other colors are introduced, and then they organically mix, and it just looks so cool. I can't describe why, it just looks nice. I want to eat them. Why can't YouTube Kids have this instead of whatever this is? Not to mention how it plays classical music, and oh my god, I feel spiritually enlightened. This is so soothing and satisfying, and I love it so much. There's just something about it that I can't help but be mesmerized in. The colors slowly moving, other colors going on screen, colors combining and creating new colors. Then you had these little paper icons mixed up. Like, what the heck? This is so much effort. Who knows? Maybe it wasn't actually that much effort, but I don't know. This is cool. This is something you will never see on cable TV. But it is. And what? This is cool. Mobile Studio is a CGI rotating baby mobile that'll have different images in every segment. I do find it soothing to watch and especially mesmerizing how it rotates, so I'm not gonna lie and pretend that there's more to talk about. It's mostly a loop with nothing much to add besides, oh hey, they changed the image, that's neat. Kaleidoscope is a program in which, you know, take a wild guess. I like this though, it's very trippy, but to be honest, I don't mind. Every kid deserves to trip out at least once in their life. Quote me on that. Carousel Dreams is a CGI merry-go-round that's alternating seats every few seconds. I do like the seats change even if they do clip to the merry-go-round. Like, come on. You could have had like a little opening it, but no, the thing is just clipping to the model. Boy, I sure hope somebody got fired for that blunt. And I also like the detail of the backgrounds moving. Yes, I am stretching for things to say, I'm sorry. One thing I did want to mention that I'm actually shocked by is all the CGI I've been seeing. More shocked by how nice it looks. I'm guessing my brain is still assuming that these are like 80s or 90s shows, when in reality they would have been airing in the 2000s. But I don't know, I guess I didn't expect CGI to be this mainstream by this point. To the point where even something as small as Baby First is able to just use CGI to make something like this. But yeah, I just didn't expect it. But it does look really nice, like, wow. And yeah, that's pretty much it. This really is just Mobile's 3D 2, that at least this one changes up every few seconds, while Mobile's 3D is just... And finally, the one show that I could not watch on my TV because it never seemed to air was Black and White. From what I could tell, this seems to be just silhouettes of 2D animals as they walk across a white screen. I have nothing to say. I like the music, I guess. Overall, Baby First at Night is very soothing. I know I kind of stretched for what I could talk about, which is very understandable considering the fact that some of the shows were literally... But I'm still surprised by how I was able to spend 9 minutes talking about this. This is a part of television history that I hope is preserved, and to be honest, I'm actually surprised by how easily these shows were found online, either by YouTube or by watching them on TV. Though it is unfortunate how most of these shows are presented in 16:9 and not their native aspect ratio. I would love to learn more about where these shows came from, though they're so unknown that the most I could gather is how these shows used to be in 4:3, and some of these shows like Sandman even had intro sequences that have since been cut out of syndication. Who knows, maybe we could start a search party to properly archive them to be in one location. Nobody should need to go to Vimeo to find the right aspect ratio for Carousel Dreams.